Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy, and today we're talking about books. You guys know this is absolutely one of my favorite subjects. Even though in the month of May, the way I was DNFing, I look like a book hater. But one thing I will not do is waste my time. Not with a book. As my friend Michelle would say, there are 100 million books in the world. We're not going to spend any more time on this one. I wanted to first tell you about the books that I DNF'd in the month of May, and then we'll get into what I'm currently reading, as well as some other library books that I have that I'm hoping to get through in the month of June. I'm very excited for some reasons. Even though this is like a lot of books, it's a lot of books. Anyway, let's start off with the one book. I actually finished two books in the month of May, and one of them I gave a very high star rating, and that was Meet Your Baker by Ellie Alexander. This is the first cozy mystery in the A Bake Shop mystery series. One day I will go into details about how and why how I fell in love with cozy mysteries and why I continue to read them. Cozy mysteries, I felt like I had stopped reading for a while because they were just literally all the same. Girl moves away from small town, has problems with her husband, moves back to small town, saves the family business. There is a murder, so she has to do all this work. The police is stupid. I love them, but they were becoming very boring. This is everything I just described, but I gave it 4.5 stars because of the main character, Jules. It has been a really long time that a character in a cozy mystery really captivated me. Jules is a pastry chef, and she has worked on cruise ships with her husband, Carlos. They don't tell you until the end of the book why she left Carlos. But the whole way the author wrote her separation from Carlos, you could physically feel Jules's pain. She loves her husband. It wasn't that he was a jerk. Like, my favorite cozy mystery series is by Diane Mott Davidson. It's the Goldie series, and Goldie calls her husband the jerk. Also in this book, Jules didn't make the police look stupid. She didn't try to act like the police didn't know what they were doing. She was constantly including the police. She was, letting everybody know how much faith she had in them versus no one can solve this but me. It wasn't that way. The person who was going to be murdered, that was very obvious, but the person who did the murdering, I didn't see that coming. So for that reason, this very usual, like the rest, cozy mystery got 4.5 stars from me. And I actually just finished reading this on Monday. Today is Wednesday, so I just finished reading this on Monday, and it really sparked me really wanting to read and get back into my cozy mystery bag again. So you'll see some cozy mysteries over here that I checked out from the library. But yes, 4.5 stars for Meet Your Baker by Ellie Alexander. So the second book I actually finished today is, I'll have to pop it up on the screen because I got it from the library as well. Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. I was so disappointed in this book. I gave it 2 stars. I gave it 1 star because it is a book. So books just get 1 star because it's a book, and also Goodreads won't let you give something like no stars. So it's a book, so it gets 1 star. I gave it 2 stars because of Javi, one of the characters in the book. Finley and Vero, the main 2 characters, were so jittery and jumpy about the mob coming after them that they kept injuring Javi even though he was there to help them. And every scene that Javi was in was just so funny to me that I was literally laughing out loud. So Javi gets a star because I felt like his scenes were very well written. I don't even know if I can describe what this book was even about. This is the 3rd installment in the Finley Donovan series. The other 2 books, the first book I truly loved. The second book I enjoyed. This one I was like, did someone else write this? I honestly, sitting here now, am going through the book in my mind, but I'm like, how do I even talk about it? The mob was after her to find the person who shut down their website that they were using, like, to hire hit people, like the way hit people were hired were through this website. What? I skipped about 100 pages in this book and was reading, and I'm still not sure. Well, it was weird. They were at the police academy. I didn't enjoy it. I read the entire whole book except them 100 pages. I just kind of like skipped in the middle. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I'm going to continue the series. I know I am going to continue the series, but I'm not going to race to the library to pick up the other books. I just read them when I see them, when I get to them. I mean, I'm a series person, if y'all hadn't been able to tell. I love series. And this book had a blurb from Janet Ivanovich on the front. Now, every single one of the Stephanie Plum series are not great. Some of them are just hilarious, and some of them are just like, was Janet asleep when she wrote this one? But this one was so disappointing to be so early in the series. Like, Stephanie Plum series, what is it? Almost 30 books now. You expect some of them to lull, but not the third book in the series to lull like this one did. I don't even know what the hell happened. I ain't gonna keep explaining to you. I don't know. I ain't liking this. I took this book with me to Atlanta when I went on my little quick trip for my birthday. I love the first book. And this series is the Primas of Power. So it's 3 cousins. So I feel like each cousin is going to get their own book. This was terrible. This was there. My friend Michelle was like, it's not even like the same author wrote it. It's not even like the same author wrote it. And it's the second book in the series. This is a lot like Adios by Alexis Daria. The first book in this series is called You Had Me at Hola. Oh my gosh, you guys, that book is so good. That book is so good. I could not wait to read this one. Michelle actually owned this book and she was giving it away. So I took it because I love the first one. I should have known if Michelle was giving it away that it was not going to be as good as the first one, because Michelle has a great library and she only keeps the books she loves. Like she said, there's 100 million books in the world. Why are we dealing with this one we don't like? So this one, the 2 main characters, I don't even remember their name, it's not important. The 2 main characters are both queer identifying. However, they've been in love with each other since they were 14. The guy moved away because his family was difficult. Like the family owned a business and they wanted him to work at, but he wanted to play baseball. So they live in New York, so he moves to the West Coast, goes to UCLA, becomes this great baseball player, and then he opens a gym for rehab athletes, and so he has to come back to New York to open a store, but they want her to do the marketing for them. They rekindle their stuff. They had steamy time earlier in the book. I don't know. I got to page 122 on this book. I did. I really did. I was just like, it's gonna pick up. I know it's gonna change. It's gonna change. It's gonna be a lot like Adios. A lot like Hola. You Had Me Hola. It wasn't. I had to DNF it. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care what happens. It was so much going on that didn't go with the storyline or didn't make sense at all. So it was just so weird, and maybe it got better toward the end. Did y'all read this? Should I try to read this? I don't think I can read it. I DNF'd it. I think I gave it 2 stars. Once again, it's one book. It's a book, so it gets a star. And second, I feel like I could see what she was trying to do with this book. It just didn't make it. I don't know. I DNF'd it. So this book I DNF'd in May, but I started reading it in January. I know. I got this one from Michelle too. This is Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. When I first started reading this book, the first few chapters in this book, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? What is going on? What is going on? So this is where a guy, it starts off with him going to the police station looking for his girlfriend there in Paris, France. This book is set in the UK, but they're in Paris. He's in Paris with his girlfriend, and apparently he has a bad temper, and then he kind of blacks out, and the girlfriend is missing. So he calls the police. The police comes, and the girlfriend is missing. He thinks that he's killed her because he doesn't remember, but he actually does remember. And so he kind of goes on with his life, and he starts dating the girl's sister. And the sister and he are about to get married. They've set their wedding date, but the sister is still very much missing her dead sister, supposedly. Are y'all gonna read this? Can I say? I'm just gonna tell y'all what happened. It don't matter. Y'all can just skip over this part. Y'all think y'all gonna read this book. Okay, but the sister is actually not dead. And so when the sister comes back on the scene and starts getting her story, it gets weird. The book gets weird. The book was really good, and it was a nice thriller, and it was going a certain way. But then when the dead person comes back, the dead person is getting weird. It felt like the dead person was psychotic, which didn't fit the rest of the book. I don't know. It's me. It's not all these books are not bad. Y'all should try these books. All of them not bad. It's just me. I don't know what it is. I had a great bookmark for this book too. Isn't that cute? I'm gonna donate this to the library. Michelle was donated to the library. She was donating these and 3 other books. So I have 3 other books that are potentially gonna be in DNF because Michelle was donated to the library, but I wanted to read them. I told Michelle the other day, I think you and I just have the same reading taste because, friend, what is going on in them 2 books? I just don't know. She was like, yeah, I just could not finish it. So the next book I want to talk about was a library book, and I already took it back to the library. It's called Love at First Spite. I don't remember the author, but I'll pop the book up here. I just lost interest. This book was good. So this girl is about to, okay, so the book starts off with this girl and her best friend. Like, the author is writing it in the way that the girl in the wedding dress is about to go down the aisle. So her friend was like, see you on the other side. Like, they were about to go down the aisle, but actually they were at a paintball range. And so it turns out that the girl's fiance cheated on her with the realtor of the house that they were buying. So he was like a jerk in the first place, so I don't know why she was marrying him, because he was really a jerk. But it turns out her dad is also a jerk, and so even though she was trying to tell people she didn't want to be with him, her mom was like, you should be with him. Like, no. Anyway, that was just a side note in the book. She works at an architecture firm. She does like interior decorating. So when her fiance was buying the house in the first place, she wanted him to buy the piece of land next to the house so she could build a studio on it, but he wouldn't. So she ends up buying the piece of land with the help of her cousin and her new landlady. So I like the kind of found family, even though that's her real cousin, but the landlady was new. And then the guy who everyone thinks is a jerk that works at the architect firm ends up being in love with her this whole time, and they do it, and then he's helping her with the house. But she bought this piece of land next to the fiance's house, like where her old house was, because she wants to turn it into an Airbnb where she rents it out just to spite him. So they call it the spite house. I don't know what happened. I just lost interest. I don't know. I don't care. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing going on in that book. I just didn't care. I don't. It's me. It's me. Let me tell you why it's me, because I'm going to tell you about this book right here that I DNF. I think I have a good reason for DNFing it, though. I think I had a good reason for DNFing all of them. Okay, so Run, Rose, Run. Y'all know how excited I was about this book when I was talking about it in my library haul early in May. I'm still excited about this book, but let me tell you why I DNF'd it. It feels angsty. I'm just not in a place in my life where I can read anything that has any angst in it. I just need happiness and joy. Even though my favorite book of the month was about murder, it didn't feel angsty. Even though Jules was going through a hard time, it still was a really good read. I don't know. Okay, so Annie Lee is from Texas. She has been singing all of her life, and she taught herself how to play the guitar, but she had to pawn her guitar so she could get to Nashville. One thing I love about this book is Nashville, the city where I live, is a main character in this book, and it's beautifully written that way. Broadway and the Cumberland River and East Nashville, the way it's written very much is Dolly Parton's love of the city, which I think is such a great tribute. So I'm going to call this a soft DNF because Annie Lee's the main character, and she has been sleeping outside. She's going through. Ruth Anna is obviously Dolly Parton's character, which again is beautifully written. I'm wondering how much of James Patterson influences over that character because it's so obvious that it's Dolly. It feels weird that she would write herself in such a lovely way, even though she absolutely is, from me watching her on interviews, absolutely that lovely. But I love the way that Ruth Anna character is written. I also love like her maid. I love the way that character is written. Blake, that character in it, they're all written very well. I just is that Anna Lee is struggling and she's fighting and she's having a hard time and she's barely eating. She's washing her body in the back. I just am not in a place where I want to read about someone struggling. I just don't want to read that. So I DNF'd it. So I'm calling this a soft DNF. I may find myself in the fall when I myself am feeling more angsty to go back and read this, but right now I'm just not feeling that way, and so I just don't want to read it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it back to the library today, and I can just check it out again later when I'm ready to read it again. Talk about the books that I have here that I want to read in June. Let's start off with what I am currently reading. I am on page 77, and this is Four Aunties and a Wedding by Jesse Q. Sutanto. I read Dial A for Aunties. I loved it so much. This book is also considered a cozy mystery. It's in the cozy mystery genre, and it's diverse. This is about Chinese and Indonesian descendants, and it's not the person moves out of town, husband does them wrong, come back to. It's not that. Which is what I'm needing in cozy mysteries. I'm needing them to be more diverse. So the first book is where Medi accidentally kills her date. It was an accident, y'all. She did not mean to. And so her aunts help her cover this up. And let me tell y'all something. The fact that you can call your aunties and get anything done and the police not involved is a beautiful thing. I love that. I aspire to be this level of auntie. Okay, these are my inspirations. That's why I'm gonna keep reading the series. So they get away with the murder in that book. And so Medi ends up finding the person that she had lost contact with in the first book. He happens to manage the hotel. Medi and her aunts do like weddings. So one of them's a caterer, one of them does flowers, one of them does makeup, Medi's a photographer. So they all have their role and people hired them to do their wedding. So they were at a hotel doing the wedding. They took the dead body with them to their hotel. So in the hotel, she finds and falls in love with her old flame. So now Medi is in the UK, in England, his home country, and they are about to get married, and mayhem ensues. I am enjoying this book very much so far. The bad person, I knew who the bad person was like by page 30, which felt like, am I going to enjoy this? But I don't know who the bad person wants to kill. And the bad person hasn't been killed yet. And the aunts, my favorite part about this, the aunts have, they speak really broken English in the first place because they are Asian. So they speak really broken English. They've decided to hire someone on Fiverr to teach them British, which is just English, not broken, but the person that they're taking English lessons from, the British English, is teaching them slang. So it's the funniest thing you have literally ever heard, and I am enjoying the dialogue in this so much. So I don't feel like this is a DNF. I feel like I'm actually going to finish this book. If I'm looking in the wrong place, just charge it to my head. Used to it. Okay, so I'm back in my cozy mystery bag because I'm just not enjoying anything else that I'm reading. So this is Mango, Mambo, and Murder by Raquel V. Reyes. This is also a cozy mystery. It says a delicious spin on the cozy mystery genre. This is a Caribbean kitchen mystery. I don't know anything about this book except it's a cozy mystery, which is my favorite, and it's not about a girl who, it could be, it very well could be about a girl who went away and came back. It very well could be, but I feel like because it's not going to be just a regular American Caucasian person, that this may be a little bit more interesting than the other books that I have been reading. So I'm very excited to read it. No, I'm not going to read the blurb on the back because I don't know where my glasses are. I can't see it. Cannot see it. I'm sure my glasses are in my bedroom, but I'm not finna get up. And I also picked up the second book in the series, which is Calypso Corpses and Cooking. I am just having both. I feel like this one's probably more Halloween than this one, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna read both of them. I could hold them up correctly. I'm just gonna read them both. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This video is a hot mess. So thank you for joining me in my hot mess. Okay, I don't even know if I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I read like the first, how far did I get? Let's see, hold on. Nope, didn't read that yet. I haven't read that page. I'm gonna say I got page 15. It's not as angsty as Run Rose Run. I'm gonna keep this. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it though. I just don't know. This is Soy Sauce for Beginners by Kristen Chen. I don't know if I'm going to read this or not. Like I said, I read the 15 pages. Nothing was really happening. The girl, was living in San Francisco in America with her husband, but now she's back home in China because he cheated on her. This could be a cozy mystery, but it's not. It really could be. I don't know about that yet. But this one I am super excited to read. This is The Golden Spoon by Jessa Maxwell. And it is, here's what the blurb on the front says, by Janet Ivanovich. I love me some Stephanie Plum. This delicious combination of Clue and the Great British Bake Off kept me turning pages all night. That's all I know about this book, is that it's to include my favorite movie. I still pull it up on Amazon Prime to watch it sometime, and The Great British Bake Off, which I don't actually enjoy very much, but I love culinary. So it's amazing to me that I don't love The Great British Bake Off. I've watched maybe like 3 or 4 episodes and I was like, okay, I don't know, because I love watching cooking shows. I do. And I love culinary books, but I don't know why I never really got into The Great British Bake Off, but that's what I'm planning on reading this month anyway. I read the first 3 pages of this and it seems very Clue-like. Very interested in that. Very excited about this. The Librarian of Burned Books, a novel by Brianna Labuskis. I'm sorry, Brianna. I apologize. I can't remember who mentioned this book. Was it Nakia? I think it may have been Nakia from Nakia's Hideaway that mentioned this book. I just had to pick it up. So apparently there are books being banned because, is this set in America? It could be, but it's not. I want to say this is the UK. Once again, I don't have my glasses, so I really can't read it. Oh, I can read this. Berlin, 1933. Yeah, that's all I can see. So this is set in Berlin, 1933. And I think maybe the communists have taken over. And so now they're trying to make sure people don't have their own minds. So they're trying to burn books. And apparently this librarian is trying to save those burned books. It sounded so beautiful, dreamy, and romantic, so I really want to read it. And then this one is just like Soy Sauce for Beginners. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to read it. If this is not fun, a fun murder, then I'm not gonna read it. This is Murder on Mystique by Anne Glenconner. And I just saw the title and the cover and I thought that's beautiful. If that's a fun murder, that's gonna be a really good book. I'm hoping this book is like Knives Out. Have y'all seen both of those yet? Have y'all seen Knives Out 1 and 2? Oh my gosh, they're so good. I love them so much. So I'm hoping this is like this. I have no idea. I opened it and I was gonna read the inside, but I didn't have my glasses at the library either. And so when I saw, I was like, ooh, it's a map. You know what it could be like? It could be like Murder on the Nile. That's a great movie. I've never read the book. I've never read anything by that author. And that's okay because I love the TV shows and the movies. But if this is like Murder on the Nile, I think that's going to be so good. This was a terrible video, but I'm absolutely going to upload it anyway. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this far. If you did, put a book emoji down in the description box nope, not the description box, in the comment to let me know you made it this far. That's my Winnie the Pooh. He even got bored. Pooh just like, I'm just gonna lay over because I just don't even know what she's talking about no more. He just slept. He just fell asleep. Okay, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next video. It may be mildly better than this one. Bye, beautiful.